Hello Commanders! Welcome to the command table. My name is Matt, and I'm going to be taking you through multiple star rating levels of Volcanus. We are going to jump right into that, but first, if you would please support the channel by liking, subscribing, and if you want notifications when I drop new videos, be sure to hit that notification bell. Also, if you have any questions or comments, or if you found a cool new build that you want to share with everybody, feel free to comment below. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right in. We'll get after the big boy, SR15. Now, here, for what I've been going about at this particular raid set is I'm just going to run through it once, and then I'll show you the elixirs and everything after the fact. But I've got Warhounds, I've got Wraiths, and I've got 2 Frost Wizards. This is kind of the standard build that's developed over the past couple of Volcanus raid cycles. We do have Earthquake and Enhanced Melee. So we've had to use the Force Resistance Elixir, and I'll show you the Powerstones here in a minute. Actually, let's just go ahead and do that right now. Let's do the one with stats on it. Okay, so it's going to go ahead and run through those. We got Clone, Block 2, and Reach 2 on the first Frost Wizard, and Clone and Block 2 on the back. Then we've got Damage 4 and Block 2 on all of the Warhounds. We have Damage 4 and Block 2 where I can on my Wraiths, and that should be about everything. So I haven't been using, oh, and this will run through my artifacts so you can see what kind of stats I have on those. The immunity isn't that big of a deal on the Primal Warhorn because we're already using the elixir, and that's my stats on the ring and the spear. So it's going to cover the boss modifiers here next. So 200% more damage, 25% chance to stun for 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds, 20% of max health, 75% chance, stun for 2 seconds thrown up in the air. We're using immunity, power, and force resistance. And you can mess around with putting Unshackle on your Warhounds, but you cannot put Unshackle on the Frost Wizards. So because of that, I went ahead and used the Force Resistance Elixir anyway. That seemed to be the prevailing trend from what everybody's doing. But it's mostly just about can you clear to the boss in that first 10 seconds and get him frost locked. And if you can determine whether or not you're going to need that power elixir. So that seems to be the decision that you've got to make, is can you risk getting to the boss without that power elixir, and if it costs you even one attempt to where you've got to spend an extra key, that's 3 raids that you could have run it with the power elixir. So your call how you want to go about that, but as you can see, we've got the cloned Frost Wizards, all 4 of them. They've got a good alternation. They're keeping them locked, so we don't need to use Claw of the Frost Dragon, but it will cost you 2 clone Powerstones to get that done. So anyway, that's SR15. Let's show you how we did on SR14. We'll go ahead and do the run through with the Powerstones and everything else. Same deal. Clone, Block 2, and Reach 2 on the ones that can put Reach 2. Damage 4 and Block 2 on all the Warhounds. Damage 4 on all the Wraiths. I don't have that 3rd Powerstone slot yet on any of them for block. And you'll see that some of them do get killed by the Earthquake. Here's the stats on my Primal Warhorn, the ring, and the spear. Maybe. There we go. I pre-record each of these videos, so I can't really control the speed very well on them. Same stats for the modifiers, 200% and 25, and then 20% max health, 75% chance to stun, and 75 to throw in the air. So yeah, that's using that force resistance elixir negates that force being thrown up into the air. I am using all 3 elixirs again on this one. My unit levels, as you could see, were a fair bit lower than my main profile. But here we go, 50 seconds. We barely get him frost locked before he can get another pound off. And that's the heart. I mean, obviously you look at this and it's racking up tons and tons of damage, but none of that damage could occur if I hadn't gotten to the boss and got him frost locked in that first 10 seconds. So if you can get to them at maybe the 52-second mark, you might 52 or 53, you might be able to drop that power elixir. But that's totally your call. For me, with my unit levels, it just seems like it's the safer bet to... Oh, see, look, he's starting to move. There goes the pound. But we got the heart, so it's not a big deal. Anyway, it's your call if you want to try not using the power elixir, but that seems to be the safest road to go, in my opinion. If you've got really stout unit levels for your SR level, then you shouldn't have to worry too terribly much. Okay, so I believe this is SR10 here, and this should be the one with the stats. Yeah, okay, so there it goes. Same deal, all the same power stones for everybody. Nothing terribly complicated. I don't have this Frost Wizard to level 100, so I don't have the Reach Power Stone. But all the same power stones, just a lot lower unit levels and a lot lower artifact levels. Oh, apparently I have a roll waiting on that. So we discarded that and kept the previous one. But yeah, the artifacts here are clearly nothing to scream about. And here you should be able to see 150% more damage at SR10 with 25% chance to stun, and then 5% of max health damage and 18.75 to be stunned or thrown into the air. So the earthquake isn't nearly as intimidating on this one, but it's still something to be reckoned with. You do not want your Frost Wizards getting stunned, and since you cannot put Unshackle on them, the Force Resistance Elixir seems to be almost mandatory. I can't think of any other way to keep those Frost Wizards moving without using the Force Resistance Elixir. There may be ways to go about doing this with a Titan-esque build, using Eternal Champions and a Paladin, Battle Drummer, and a Monster Hunter, or a Frost Wizard, depending on how you want to try and work it out. But this seems to be a very dependable way of going about it, and unless you've got really high-level mythic units, this kind of seems to be the go-to. Anyway, we'll just skip ahead on this. You can see that I've already gotten the heart there. Now, I have done something different for SR6, and I'll kind of take you through the evolution on that, because it started here, where... Let's get the unit levels at least. There we go. So now you can see my unit levels. Okay, on SR6, everything's level 90, and I've got some Warhounds, a Paladin, a Drummer, and the Frost Wizard down here. I've put the Assassins up here to start working on the Archers and to come down through and clear all of them out, because they seem to chip away at the units and focus fire on them one by one until they're all gone. I'm using the Bombots to clear the front line, because those Thorn Guards are very problematic, and the Brute just knocks everything all over the place. So once you get the first phase of the Earth Elementals down, it's less of an issue, but that Brute is really a problem. So that's why I put the 3 Bombots there, and I'm using Claw and Ring of Unity, and I do not have Mythics on this profile yet. So let's go ahead and let this run. You can see how it goes. I do get the heart, which is nice, but there's clearly some improvements that can be made. You'll notice that the Assassins are gone, and that's because they were placed kind of right in the middle of the Archers, and that's problematic, as we'll show you here in just a second. I just want to let it play through till it gets the heart, and then we'll have a look at that. But things are just bouncing all over the place. I've got block on the Warhounds, I think just block 1. And now you can see the Archers are kind of focus firing and chipping away on those Warhounds. So fortunately, the Frost Wizard has Volcanus on lockdown, and it's just going to be a matter of time to grind through. We get the heart, and that Earth Elemental's working his way around and starts knocking the Warhounds all over the place. But we got the heart. Let's go ahead and show you what happened with those Assassins. Okay, here it comes. They pop over, but they're right in front, and they catch some of the arrows. So apparently that's a thing where even if that unit is not the target of the Archers, if they're in the path of the arrow, they'll soak the arrow. So I had to make a couple of tweaks on that, as I'll show you here. These are the tweaks that I made. I switched the formation on the Assassins, but watch when they pop over, they're still kind of right in the middle of it, and one of them catches it. so I end up losing my assassins again. I believe I added the direwolves, yes. So I added the direwolves down here at the bottom, so see how those kind of play into this. They're a little bit more health, so they're able to take a couple of shots, and they buff the Warhounds to give them a little bit more damage. It doesn't seem to be clearing that much faster. I might have probably done just as well using just Warhounds. But now I've got at least one direwolf left, so it's able to buff those couple of Warhounds around it, and I think the health goes down a lot faster in this event. So a couple more changes that I made on my third attempt here. I believe I moved the assassins back. Oh, and this is going to run through the Powerstones. Nothing on the Bombots, damage 4 on the assassins, protection 4 and damage 4 on the direwolves. I don't have a Powerstone slot on my Paladin. And enhance 2, protection 4 on the battle drummer, block 2 and damage 4 on the Warhounds. Oh, and I ended up changing that to clone for the next attempt, but it did have execute on the Frost Wizard from the last time we did Volcanus, because the Frost Wizard doesn't do a whole heck of a lot of damage, but it does do AoE. So if it tags something that's at that threshold, it would actually do a substantial amount of damage. It just doesn't seem worth putting a damage Power Stone on it, because it does so little damage anyway. If you do get an execute, then that's a lot of damage, so why not? But like I said, in the next attempt I actually switch over. Oh, and you'll notice that all the archers are gone this time. The assassins, I placed them just a little bit further back to where they weren't in front of the arrows, so that way they remained in stealth the entire time and were able to work through both of those archers at the top. That just kind of makes things a little smoother. Maybe not terribly crucial. You could probably make do without it, but it just I like to try and make them as least complicated as possible, so I don't have some random thing go wrong and lose a key for no reason. So it's kind of nice having that direwolf there. It kind of keeps that earth elemental out of the way. So here I think I kind of go through it all again, but we'll skip ahead just so you can see that Frost Wizard. Where is he? Yeah, see, I put clone and block 2 on him, and I upgraded all of my Warhounds to block 2 during one of those. But very straightforward. Again, good placement on those assassins. You can see him working from behind, coming all the way down through the archers. And I kind of like having the clone on these, even though I've got Claw of the Frost Dragon. I only need one Frost Wizard, but having the 2 of them, it's just if one of them dies, I do have one left to keep it going. But they do have lower health, so maybe that's not worth the risk, because you can see they're both really low on HP, but there's no earthquake at SR6, so there's nothing to be terribly concerned about. Anyway, that is 4 different SR levels for Volcanus. Thank you for watching. Please do support the channel by liking and subscribing. We're moving along very well with that. I appreciate all the support from everyone. And you can check out thecommandtable.com. We'll be adding some more things there as time goes on, and appreciate all that you guys do to comment and like and support. We'll have more for you soon.